YouTube yet.
Oh, it's just right now.
Now
yeah.
it says it. Now we
Okay.
got it. Now
I
we
got
it.
it. I got it. I'll be good.
You're
I
always-
could have said, I could have said what I wanted. Okay. All right, folks. Welcome to Garden of the Spirit. Oh boy, I'm dark over here. Welcome to Garden of the Spirit. This class meets in Long Meadow, Massachusetts. Ruth Moshe, Margaret Vogel, a blessed memory. Apple from the Orchard contains selections of teachings of Kabbalah from the Arizal, Rabbi Yitzhak Luria, based on weekly Torah portions superbly translated and explained by Rabbi Moshe Wisniewski. I should say that this is our second time around. Okay.
Oh,
I'm sorry, my lighting's not good today. I can do this.
much better.
The Schnitzel King is here.
Yeah.
I'm here.
Okay. I have to find where we are. I shut it. Okay. So we are in Bereshith. And last week we asked a question and then we went off on a little tangent. We asked the question, how come the Torah says, the Torah talks about the creation of man and woman, and then later it only talks about creation. The Torah repeats, and the Torah talks about the creation of man, and it doesn't say anything about, and it doesn't say, and it doesn't say anything about not eating from the tree. It only says not to eat from the tree at one of the times. So let me get here. And by the way, 2 weeks ago, I asked a question while I'm getting this up on the board. 2 weeks ago, I asked a question, the word tikkun. We talked about tikkun olam. And I asked, where is tikkun in Ma'ariv? Yeah, did anyone remember to look?
No.
Okay. And the other question that I didn't ask, that's one. I'm going to leave that with you again. We'll do it till you guys get it right. Where do we have tikkun in Ma'ariv? And please check how it's translated there, because it could be translated differently in different places. The other one is the word atzilus could come from the word sail. One of the translations of atzilus is the word for sail. And where do we have that in Ma'ariv? I'll give you a hint. They're both a few lines from each other. So if you find one, then you'll know that the other is nearby.
Still can't read it though.
What?
I can't read this.
Why not? Too small?
Yes.
What? No joke. What kind of screen do you have?
Put your glasses on, Alan.
Oh,
What kind
really?
Alan, what kind of screen?
I have a big screen, but it's
Maybe have small glasses.
it only comes through, and that's better. That's better. Remember, when you look at it on yours, it makes it smaller when it's sent out. That's
No,
good.
it's pretty big. Okay.
That's good. That's good.
Here are the questions. First, it says Hashem created heaven and earth, referring to Zeir Anpin and Nukva. Then it goes through the 7 days of creation, which are Zeir Anpin and Nukva. On the 6th day, it says Hashem created man in his image. Then it goes on to the 7th day, and then later in chapter 2, it goes back to the 6th day. Hashem formed man from the dust of the earth, and Chava was not mentioned. I should write Chava. Was not mentioned when Hashem told Adam not to eat from the tree of knowledge. She was created after Hashem told Adam, according to the order of how the Torah goes. So then, why would she be punished?
Or she would, or she was when the first creation of man came to be. Adam and Chava were together, and mentioned together, male and female. He created them. And so she was there, but afterwards, when we talk about Adam, we talk about Eve being created after, and that's part of the issue. So, but first, the first
Adam
one,
was a hermaphrodite.
Okay. I don't
Yeah.
have the Chumash, I don't have the Chumash in front of me.
and that's
When-
why
at
I
the
say, I say that she was both, she was there at the very, very beginning, man and woman, he created them. That's the line. I don't have it in front of me, but I
I need
remember.
to get it in front of me because there's different places. It says about in chapter 1, when it goes through the 6 days, and then when it goes to chapter 2. I'm sorry.
I've got a Chumash right here. Where do you want to know?
I got a Chumash.
I've got a Chumash right here.
You have to remember that the time that she's attached, the Torah says him, Adam. At the time that she's attached to Adam, the Torah refers to just to Adam at that time. Torah
Male
doesn't
and-
say that he created, yeah, go ahead.
Says male and female created them. Right, let me get this.
Oh,
Because Hashem created them both together, like Jim said, and it wasn't until after he named the animals that he became lonely, and Hashem wasn't enough for him. So
Alan,
out of his ribs.
Alan,
yes,
are you reading it for us?
I'm finding it. Where?
Chapter 1.
Here it is. On 120, I can hardly see, 127.
What does
God
it say?
created man by hand and in the mold which he had made for him. The mold which he used to create him resembled the image of God. On that day, he created, it's in parentheses, both male and female.
Okay, I'm sorry.
And that was the first one. That's on 127.
Right. The commentary says, although Chava was created later, she and Adam were created on the same day. Although all living creatures were created male and female, this fact is specified only in the case of human beings, to stress that both sexes were created by Hashem in his likeness.
Yeah,
And that's the
but
commentary.
that's got to be Art Scroll stuff.
Yes,
And I'm not reading Art Scroll. I'm reading Gutnick or that. I'm reading Hasidus stuff.
but it still says
Okay.
created the same day.
So
Yes,
here in the translation, I'm sorry, Jim, were you reading from the Gutnick?
Yes.
Okay, so I want Gutnick, they added a lot on their own. I'm looking for a straight translation. Hashem created man in his image, in the image of God. He created him. No, I'm sorry, in the image of God, he created him. Male and female, he created them. And then he blessed them and said to them, be fruitful and multiply. Then he said, behold, I have given to you all herbage, yielding seed is on the surface of the entire earth, and every tree that has seed yielding fruit, it shall be yours for food. That is chapter 1. Then in chapter 2, it goes into more detail, and it says, Hashem formed the man of dust from the ground. He blew into his nostrils the soul of life. The man became a living being. Hashem commanded him, of every tree of the garden you may freely eat, but of the tree of knowledge of good and evil you must not eat thereof. So at this point there is only man. For on the day that you eat it, you shall surely die. And then 18, it is not good that man be alone. I'll make him a helper.
Right.
You said, oi?
no, I said yes.
But that was the separated part.
21. Hashem
I-
cast a deep sleep upon the man, and he slept. He took one of his sides, and he filled it in flesh. Hashem fashioned the side that he had taken from the man into a woman, and he brought her to the man.
Yeah.
So the order over here is that Hashem made Adam. He told Adam not to eat from the tree, and then afterwards he formed the woman.
No, he
That's
didn't. He didn't.
No,
he
he
didn't-
separated. He separated. He
Separated.
separated.
What did I
He
say?
separated.
Adam
You said-
was a hermaphrodite. That's how man was intended to be created, with both sexes, which we have today. It's dependent upon, some people have both X and Y. He was created as a hermaphrodite, and then he split them apart.
What's a hermaphrodite?
An individual with two sexes, both sexes.
Okay, it doesn't say that.
But that's what it is. He created Adam.
Where do you get this from?
That's what it is. It's not where I
Where
get
do you
That's
get
what-
this from?
it. By reading it. He created man with both sexes.
Where did it say that? I didn't see it. I just read it.
Read the English translation again.
What?
Read what you just read again. You said it. He created him and her.
Him and her.
Hashem cast a deep sleep upon the man and he slept. He
Yeah.
took one of his sides and he filled in flesh in its place.
Yeah.
Hashem fashioned the side he had taken from the man into a woman and he brought her to the man.
Okay.
I didn't see the word hermaphrodite.
That's what I just said. But Chaim,
Yes.
originally Hashem created Adam, right? One person, one being. And Adam had both sexes. He was alone, but he had both sexes. It was him and God. That's how Hashem created him.
Where do you see that?
Am I
In
am I-
127,
Am I in a different Torah?
In 127, it
That's
just
what
says,
I'm asking you.
in
Where do you see that
127,
in
it
the
says he
Torah?
created male and female. He created them. Doesn't say he separated them. It says he created them.
no,
created
I don't see it as being separated at that point. I see it separated
It was one.
when later in the second part when he takes the rib. That's the separation.
That's correct.
But the original
right.
man is both masculine and feminine.
That's right.
It doesn't say that.
It does say that.
No, it doesn't.
Yes, it does.
No, it says Hashem created man in his image. He says he created him. Male and female, he created them.
Yep. I know what it
That
says.
is two different people.
No,
Not
it wasn't two
necess-
different people.
No.
There's a, it's
How
a,
could it be two different people if Chava wasn't created until he took his rib from him? And out of the rib, Chava was created. How could it be? two separate-
This man was before Adam at this when Adam in the second part. This is more of an Adam Kudman, a closer thing to that. It's a more of a primordial man. Maybe I can put it that way.
Excuse me, can I?
Well, it was the original.
Can I? Okay. So over here, hermaphrodite, I think you all can see it, says an animal or plant having both male and female reproductive tissue or organs. Let me get back where he was. Oh, how do I find it? Okay, so that's what it says over here. Now, the Torah says, again, the Torah gives two accounts of the creation of man. The first is in chapter 1.
Right.
Chapter 1. Just a minute.
Okay, but look at Pasuk Chafva.
Can I speak, please?
I'm sorry.
In chapter 1 says, God said, let us make man in our image after our likeness. They shall rule over the fish of the sea and so on.
So
God-
why-
And be
Why-
fruitful. It
why-
also talks about fruitfulness. What's the
No, but wait a
fruitfulness?
God created man in his image, in the image of God. In the image of God, he created him. Male and female, he created them. That's what it says. Then
God bless them. God blessed them. God
Yes.
said to them, be fruitful and multiply.
so then the Torah goes into more detail
right.
in chapter 2. And it says, in chapter 2 explains how it happened in chapter 1. And it says, I'm sorry. First it says, Hashem formed man of dust from the ground. He blew into his nostrils the soul of life. man became a living being, and in the Hebrew, that is a singular word. He became a singular verb. Then it says, Hashem commanded the man, saying, of every tree of the garden you may freely eat, and so on. Then it says, it is not good that man be alone. I'll make him a helper corresponding to him. Hashem had formed, Hashem cast a deep sleep. He took one of his sides and filled flesh in its place. Hashem fashioned the side from the man into a woman, and he brought her to the man. Now, as I've told you many times, there are different layers of meaning. In the plain pshat, the first chapter gives an overview. It doesn't go into detail. So it says Hashem created man, and then it says male and female he created them. And then it says, and then he says he told them to be fruitful, multiply, and he refers to man in the plural. According to Pshat, this second chapter goes into the details. And this, according to Pshat, they were not created at the same time, male and female. At first, according to the second chapter, as is explained, man is created first, and then woman is created later from his side. Okay? That's first of all. So when it says that male and female he created them, it's talking in the general sense, not like that in Pshat, not like this, not at once that there was male and female, but first, that he in general, that Hashem created people, male and female. That is according to Pshat. Now, there is a Gemara, and in the Gemara there is an argument. I'm sorry I haven't reviewed it lately, but in the Gemara there is an argument of exactly what is this side that he took from man, or rib. What's the Hebrew word? It's so important to follow and look at the Hebrew words. The Hebrew word is achas, vayikach achas mitzal osav. Hashem took one of his sides. Okay, very popularly we say that he took his rib. But here it says he took one of his, the Hebrew word is tsela. What is tsela? It's not a common word. We do find it in places as the side of something. And not the side of a building, not the side of a person. So it's a very unusual word. Because of this, we have the argument in the Gemara that on the one hand, it says here that Hashem took like from his side. And earlier it said he created male and female, he created them. According to one opinion in the Gemara, that there's also a pasuk in Tehillim that says, Achar v'kedem sartani. You have fashioned me front and back.
Mhm.
So there's one opinion in the Gemara that when Adam was created, it was I guess as a what do you call it? As two people, that he was back to back with Chava. At that point, she was not her own person. I don't think it would be like Siamese twins. Okay, but she was there on his back. Was she living at the time? Was she not living? Was she just a lump of flesh? I don't know. But he learns from here that from the Tehillim that you created me, you fashioned me front and back. And here, male and female created them, that Chava was attached to his back and Hashem separated. According to the other opinion, she was fashioned from Adam's side. And I don't know, where's the rib is up here. So I don't know where the rib came in. That she was fashioned from his side, it would be more like the hip or something. And I don't remember the Gemara. It's been a while since I looked at it. And Hashem created Chava from his side. And when it says that he created a male and female, it means in the general sense that eventually there's going to be a male and a female. So that is the commentary in the Gemara of where Chava came from, how she was created, how she was fashioned from Adam. And that is the I guess the Agada or the Medrash of the Gemara. But looking at it this way is the pshat is the way I explained at first. And the Gemara does not, if as far as I remember, does not resolve their one way or another. It just brings the support for each one. Now, all that being said, all that being said, we do consider that man was created as one being. For example, it says in the Mishnah that a person, why was man created? That every species were created multiple of every one. Flies, there were many flies. When Hashem created the world, he created with many flies, many mice, many squirrels, and so on. Only man was created one individual. That is very clear in the Mishnah. And he created one. Why one? To teach you that the entire world is worth for one person. One person is an entire world unto himself. Now, all that being said, right now we are looking at this through the eyes of Kabbalah. So whatever we have there from the Medrash, that she was created this way, she was created that way, she really was there. Right now we are looking at this from the eyes of Kabbalah, and we're going to show this within the process of creation. In the process of creation, there is male. In the process of creation, there's female. In the process of creation, the tree of knowledge was susceptible to evil. And therefore, it is off limits. It is the tree of knowledge, good and bad. Tov v'ra, good and bad. Why? There's good there, but there is bad there. And therefore, where is there bad? Bad is in Asiya, only at the lowest stage of creation. And so earlier, there is no what's the word, propensity for evil to happen. So that when the tree of knowledge that has this this chance that things can fall apart and can be and is vulnerable and to evil, can be caught up with evil, this is only in Asiya, in the fourth stage. So right now we're looking at it through the eyes of Kabbalah. So that we ask a question here that the Torah says Chava wasn't mentioned when Hashem told Adam. If you look in what we just read, and when Hashem told Adam not to eat from the tree of knowledge, the Torah says Hashem created man. Then it says Hashem he commanded him, of every tree of the garden you may eat, but of the tree of knowledge, good and bad, you must not eat. And the very next sentence is, I will make, it's not good for him to be alone, I'll make him a helper. Okay, so in this reading, Chava was not there when Hashem gave it. Was she in the rib? Was she attached to his back? It's irrelevant. We're looking at this now through the eyes of Kabbalah and going to explain why, within the process of creation, does it have this order. At first there's Adam, which is male, then we talk about the tree of knowledge, and only afterwards does the Torah introduce us to Chava. Okay, I'm done. Anyone else wants to have a rebuttal or wants to continue the discussion now, I'll open the floor for you.
I think we shouldn't look at this in an anthropomorphic sense. I think we have to look at this in a flow of energy. And then if in that sense, you speak of Zeranpin and Nukva in terms of a creative process. But I think if you look at it anthropomorphically, it becomes a problem. That's my 2 cents.
Okay.
So
Okay,
my
good.
2 cents is that, again, I'm going back to the fact that we've learned in the first 6 years that there is Nukva and Zeranpin, the male and the female manifestations.
Mhm.
According to Zohar, man, the primordial man, or Adam Kadmon, which was used to create Adam Harishon, is an extension of the celestial man into the physical man. So there's no reason why, in a spiritual sense, if every one of the Sfirot has a Nukva essence and a Zer Anpin essence, the man became a mirror image of that. And the way that man was originally created was the embodiment of both the male and the female sex and the emotions of both male and female. The way that Adam was created as a single man with all the animals in duality was originally the way that Hashem had intended. It wasn't until Adam, when he named all the animals, said, wait a second, how come they're paired off? I'm alone. Now, whether Adam was on his side or on his back or whatever the case may be, however you want to anthropomorphize this, is in essence really meaningless. At the end of the day, it wasn't until Adam decided that he needed a mate and Hashem relinquished and he pulled Chava out of his rib. And she became the female embodiment of what is a woman today. Because as we know, and I've said this 1,000 times, the original plan was Hashem created the world. He created Adam Rishon. He told him not to touch from the tree of knowledge because he didn't want evil in the world. And right before Shabbos, Mashiach was supposed to come, and the Messianic age was supposed to be in the world, as we're hoping for tonight when it comes, hopefully. That was the original plan. And then when evil was unleashed, which is also part of the original plan.
That's it. That's it. That's it right there.
Adjustments had to be made.
Right. It's all part of the same plan. That's
Exactly. It's all part of the same plan. It's just that Hashem in his infinite abilities knows every permutation of every action of everything you could possibly imagine, every variable in a unlimited equation. Hashem already knows. Within the 7 billion individuals emanating from the 600,000 souls, every action that one of that 7 billion performs, Hashem already knows. He knows what that person is going to do. He knows what the outcome is going to be, and he leaves it up to that person to choose what that action is. So Hashem made accommodations, but it was all part of the original plan. That's my 2 cents.
Okay, very good. Appreciate your comments, Rudy and Jim. Thank you guys very, very much. So the last thing that we stopped was that the Torah says, Hashem said, Nase Adam, let us make man. And then the next pasuk says, Vayivra Elokim es Adam, God created man. So when Hashem says, let us make man, that is the word Asiya, the 4th stage of creation. Naaseh and Asiya. And did I come up with a better translation? I don't remember. I wrote action. The Hashem created man obviously refers to the 2nd stage of creation, Bria.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where we stopped last week. So June 9th. So when it says let us make man, it says let us make man b'tzalmenu kidmusenu, in our image after our likeness. And then when it says he created man, it says b'tzalmo, in his image, but it doesn't say in his likeness. Why not? So first, I'm not wearing my mask. First, I need to see. Okay, so first, these 2 Hebrew words, Tselem and Tammuz, what are they? What is the meaning of each one? Because I like to look at the words. I don't just accept how it's translated, how the translator chooses to translate. I think, so the first word selam, which they say in our image, possibly means with the same features. Having, eyes, ears, a head, arms, and so on. The word demus possibly refers to the general shape, profile, or silhouette, the general shape of the human body, the shape of the head and the function of the head, the upper extremities, meaning the arms, lower extremities, the legs, torso. And that could be demus. I'm not sure about that, but that's what that could be. The word demus is used in Hebrew for domeh, meaning, which we usually translate similar, if that means anything. Tselem, today, tsilum is a photograph. In Hebrew, whether you translate one as our image after our likeness and the second one after our likeness, I don't know if it really matters, and it may not make a big difference for this discussion. To keep things simple, I will continue to use these terms, and in fact, to keep it simpler, I've decided to use the Hebrew terms, tselem and demus. And as midway through this, or finishing up, I decided to keep the terms, call them tselem and demus, because they both mean to be similar in a likeness, image, and I think if we, I know I'm confused using in English which one's which. So when Hashem said, let us make man, the Medrash says, what is this us over here? It says he consulted with his entourage, with his heavenly, whatever, whether or not to create man. And there's a reason for that. He didn't want the angels to be jealous, so he checked with them first. As we said,
Not just the angels, though.
Who else?
Yeah,
The Torah, the
Demons,
Sefer
too.
Torah. In the Sefer Torah,
What Sefer Torah?
Hashem looked into the Sefer Torah, the heavenly Torah.
It says he consulted.
Yeah,
or the heavenly court. Who's the heavenly court? Is it
Referring
only-
to the angels,
The
I
angels.
think that they shouldn't be jealous of people.
the good ones and the not so good
The
ones.
prosecutors and the defendants. I don't think it's just the good ones. I think it's also prosecutors.
Well,
Who?
Sutton,
Prosecutor
Sutton-
what?
Sutton is an angel.
Prosecutor, like Satan.
Sutton
just
is an
says-
angel.
It just says,
Absolutely.
it says Pamalia, I think, which refers to the entourage. That's what the word means. And I think that it refers to the angels. I think it says he checked with the angels that because we are created, the angels also have the same image. So it's like your wife showing up to a wedding and her friend is wearing the same dress, okay?
Oh,
Think of it that way. Okay, trouble, big trouble. So Hashem already made angels in this image. Now he's going to make people do it, the same image. He says, hey, angels, I hope you don't mind. They're going to have the same image. And so they're going to look like us. So sorry, I know you got the dress first, but they're also going to have the same dress. I could check up and double check exactly what's written there. So what is this? When the statement, let us make man, refers to man of Asiya, the fourth stage of creation. Hashem deliberated whether or not to make man because the counterpart of man of Asiya, the physical counterpart, was destined to sin. Keep in mind that Asiya is a spiritual level, just like the other three. Asiya is bringing Sira. Asiya is also a spiritual stage of creation. It is only the very bottom of Asiya that is physical. So the physical counterpart of man of Asiya was destined to sin. So that's why Hashem had to thought maybe it's not such a good idea. Kaviyachol, so to speak. And this question, this question was, who is this discussion with about making man? This occurs in Bria. Where in Bria? Abba and Ima, the father and mother of Bria, which we know is Chachma and Bina. And it says actually that the Ima of Bria checks with Abba of Bria, or consults, should we make man? But it also says that it's not just from Bria. It also comes from Atzilus, the first stage of creation. Where in Atzilus? Not the intellect part, from Ze'er Anpin and Nukva. So, like I'm going to mention soon, every stage of creation, we have 4 stages of creation. Every stage has 2 general sections: a section of intellect, an upper section of intellect, a lower section of emotions. The section of intellect, which is higher, there is male and female, Chachma and Bina, or Abba and Ima. And in the lower section of the emotions, there is also male and female. The male is called Ze'er Anpin, which is the 6 midos or spheres, and then Nukva or Malchus. So it also says that this question was also asked by the male and female of Atzilus, the first stage, but not the intellect level, not the intellect section, the section of emotions, the lower part of Atzilus. The male Ze'er Anpin says to the female, or the male and female of Ze'er Anpin and Nukva have this discussion. So it says is that technically it's from Ima of Bria asks to Abba of Bria, the second stage of creation. However, enclosed within them are Ze'er Anpin and Nukva of Atzilus, the male and female aspects of the emotions of the first stage of Atzilus. So they are garbed, they're wrapped within the second stage, the intellect of the second stage. The emotions of the first stage of Atzilus are enclosed within the intellect of the second stage, Bria.
May I share something?
Please go ahead.
So there's a very interesting thought that I read in why it said, Hashem said, let us make man. The reason why he said, let us make man, this is one version, said Hashem is the ruler of the world. He has no equal. He could have very easily said, and could have said, let me make man. But instead he says, let us make man, because what Hashem was doing was foreshadowing to the time of Moshe Rabbeinu, when Moshe was given the Torah, and then he had to write the Torah the second time around, where Hashem was letting Moshe Rabbeinu know that at the time the Torah was given at Har Sinai, the Torah is the embodiment of Jewish ethics and morals. And by saying to Moshe, let us make man, who's the eternal rabbi and Rav, our greatest teacher and prophet, it was basically, Hashem was basically saying that it's the Jews' responsibility to make man. We have to make man. How do we make man? By maintaining our ethics and our morals, which are found in the Torah.
So let us make man means me and you have to make man.
Me,
what you're saying?
you, Guillermo, Alan, all the ganze Yidden, Klal Yisrael.
No, not Guillermo. Just kidding. Yes, I'm saying each of us.
Klal Yisrael.
Each of us are the ones who make man. Hashem was being inclusive for all people.
Correct.
We have to make character. We have to build character. Is that what you're
Correct.
saying?
That's what I'm saying.
We shouldn't sit back and say, give me everything.
That's correct. And in recent times, we're seeing the need for where the failings are. The failings are that people aren't thinking about others. They're not correcting them. They're not guiding them. And
I'm
that's
sorry,
what we
Rudy,
see.
But your
What?
background looks like you have a peaceful demonstration at Target or something. A peaceful demonstration at the jewelry store.
Yeah, it could be.
What background do you have?
He doesn't know.
Maybe it's in solidarity with the protesters.
Yeah. Anyways, I just wanted to share that.
Very good, very good. I like that. Thank you. Actually, the one moment. The one thing is that it teaches Hashem is simply teaching us how to be a mensch.
Yeah.
As I mentioned.
Hashem was also demonstrating humility. And
Yes, go ahead.
he was
Continue.
portraying it to man, that when we make man, we have to be humble about it, because Hashem could have said, let me make man. I'm the king of all kings. I can certainly make man. I have to consult with you. I don't need to consult with you. But behind what Hashem was saying is that it's incumbent upon all of mankind to make man. That's what Hashem is saying.
Yes, but even it was saying without the special devar, without the special twist that you gave, which is very nice, is Hashem is teaching us humility and not say,
Correct.
hey, I'm going to do everything. I don't need anyone. I don't need to consult. I'm going to do what I want.
Hashem is
Hashem
teaching
says
us, he is
The
teaching
angels
us,
might, be, there's a chance they could be upset. Let me include them. Let me check with them. And it's a very, when I used to hear these things, I thought they were very trite. And as I grow up and go out in the world, and I see how people actually act and treat people, I think how important the message it is for us to take this to heart.
so Hashem is teaching us our purpose too, which is also embedded in here. Our purpose. When we make man, when we rectify, when we create, when we repair, if whatever you want to use, when we take the evil that's around us in Asiya and we bring out the light from it, that's our purpose as Jews.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
That's our purpose as Jews. So it's more, we're given this purpose here to make man in our image, but that's the tikkun olam b'malchut shakai. That's where that is. Under Hashem's command, that's our job.
Very good. Very good. And the word naaseh is something that you have to do. We have to do this. It's up to us to do this.
Do. We will do.
Yeah, but it's up to us to do it, not to sit back, let
Of
other
course
people
not.
do
We
things
have to
for us.
do it. Our purpose is here. If we sit back and we talk about it, or we just sit back and we let it happen, we're not doing our job.
Or to sit back and let other people do the work, and then we take it away from them or take the credit for it.
Right. That we violate our mission
Yeah.
if we don't do this.
And I would add, not just of every Jew, but purpose of that all the people in the world were created. The another thing is that it says Naaseh Adam, let us make man. Where else do we have this word? When we got the Torah.
Naaseh v'nishma.
Naaseh v'nishma. So Hashem said, Naaseh, let's do, and that the purpose of man or creation is contingent on Har Sinai, when the Jewish people will say Naaseh.
We will do. We will do.
Yeah. And that we will accept the Torah with that.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you guys. Okay, let's read some inside, and then we'll come back to this. Alan, are you ready?
I think so.
Help me out, guys. I think, we're on page 13, where it says, this is because. No,
No.
we're in the
No,
next one. As mentioned in the
It's
Zohar.
Okay.
Okay, you ready?
Yeah.
As mentioned in the Zohar, it was about this that Hashem consulted the heavenly court when he made man, saying, let us make man in our image, after our likeness. Although it was just stated that this statement was made by Zer Anpin and Nukva of Atsilis, it was actually made by Ima of Bria and Abba of Bria via the clothing of Zer Anpin and Nukva of Atsilis in them. Both the image and the likeness come from the feminine aspect of the intellect, Ima, who clothes the offspring she produces. This clothing is the image. Thus, the numerical value of the word for image, tselem, 160 plus the kolel, is the same as that of the name Ekya when spelled out with the letter Yud, which denotes the feminine principle.
Okay, hold on a minute. I got that here. I want to show that here. Oh, okay. See, I didn't realize it's in the thing. Okay, over here. Tselem and Demus come from Ima, it's Ima who dresses the offspring with Tselem. Tselem with the kolel is 161, and Hashem's name, Ekya, Aleph He Yud He, expanded spelling with Yuds, also equals 161. And remember, expanded spelling means the Aleph is Aleph Lamed Pei, 1, 30, and 80, which is 111. Hey is Hey Yud, which is going to be 15. Yud is always 20. And Hey is Hey Yud, which is 15, which gives us 161. That's Tselem with the kolel. It says here, who dresses the offspring with Tselem. I'm wondering if there is some measure somewhere, or it does say in a few places when the fetus is conceived, what parts come from the male, what parts come from the female. Apparently here, it seems to say that these things come from the mother.
Mhm.
That Tselem especially comes from the mother. I don't know if that's connected with the other thing. So therefore, it says Ima gives. Then it says Ima gives Tselem to the male counterpart component, and Demus to the female component. Okay, so now Alan, continue page 14.
Okay. The kolel inclusive value is the number one added to the numerical value of a word in order to include not only the values of the word's constituent letters themselves, but also the value of the word as a discrete word. As will be explained below, the name Eke is chiefly associated with Bina and therefore has a feminine nature. Tselem is Tzadik Lamed Mem, which is 90 plus 30 plus 40, which is 160. Then it shows the name Eke spelled out, which you already said, which is 161. The difference is that the image is what Ima gives to the male offspring, Zer Anpin, and the likeness, which has more of a form, is what Ima gives to the female offspring, Nukva.
Okay, so, and I don't know why Demus, why Tselem, wait. Why Tselem goes to the male offspring more and Demus goes to the female offspring more. I don't know.
Chaim,
Yes,
your notes are fabulous. May I just make a request
yes.
that instead of bullets, you number them so that when we discuss it, we can refer to the number? Just makes it easier. Like if I have a question on one of the bullets, I have to tell you third from the top, fourth from the bottom, something like that. So just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, I think will make it easier.
I'll consider it.
Okay.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Okay, whatever. Fine, thank you. Okay, so now it says, and again, I don't know if I've seen this anywhere else. It says that the lower level has everything that's above it, but the higher level doesn't have everything that's in the lower level. So that the lower you are, the more you can collect, right? You can go to this chute and get from this chute, you go to that, you can run here and get out of this chute and so on. You can get out of everything. But if you're up there, you're stuck only in one place or in fewer places. So it says that the lower level has everything in that's above it. The higher level does not have as much. Hashem gave Asiya, Tselem, and Demus. That's the lowest level. But Bria only has Tselem.
Mhm.
And it does it say, and that's why when it says Hashem created Vayivra, it says that he created, it says that he created him with Tselem, because that's talking about he created in Bria, second stage of creation. And before that, it says, let us make man, B'Tzalmenu Kitmusenu. And that was Na'aser, the level of Asiya, the fourth stage. And over there is both Tselem and Demus. Okay. Jim, would you like to continue? Because
Because his intention was to ultimately create the world of Asiya, and the lower level always possesses the power of everything above it, while the higher level does not possess what the lower one does. He therefore said, in our image, after our likeness, all referring to Asiya. As was stated previously, the verse, let us make man in our image after our likeness, refers to the man of Asiya, while the following verse, and God created man in his image, refers to the man of Bria. Thus, the man of Asiya contains both image and likeness, while the man of Bria contains only the image.
okay, let me go to the next one. Tselem exists. We said Tselem goes to the male component. So Tselem goes to Ze'er Anpin of Asiya. Ze'er Anpin is the male component of the emotions. Demus exists in Nukva of Asiya. Now, usually when we refer to Ze'er Anpin or Nukva to any of the parts of, we're talking about the way it is in Atzilus, the first stage of creation. Over here, though, it's talking about Asiya, the fourth stage of creation. Go ahead, Jim.
Even though it is stated in the Zohar that the image exists in the male, this refers to the image of Ze'er Anpin of Asiya, and the likeness exists in the female of Asiya. I'm sorry, yes, in the female of Asiya. The terms male and female usually refer to Ze'er Anpin and Nukva of Atzilus, but in this case, they refer to Ze'er Anpin and Nukva of Asiya.
Okay, and next line too.
Nevertheless, all this occurred through Ima of Bria, clothing the parts of him of Asiya, and all of this is the feminine.
All right. The next thing, back to the notes. There is no klipa in Bria. Klipa is only in Asiya. Therefore, there was no commandment to man of Bria not to eat from the tree of knowledge. When the Torah says, okay, the Torah says all the trees are yours.
Say that again, please. What you just said.
Yeah. There was no commandment to man of Bria not to eat from the tree of knowledge. When it says, right, it's only in Asiya. When it says, just a minute, I want to look this up. When Hashem told him about, 1 minute, let me just check this. What is it saying here? Okay, if the Torah says, in the beginning, I have given you all the vegetation of seeds on the land, and all the trees with fruit should be for you to eat. In the first chapter, when it talks about the sixth day of creation, that's all it says. Later, when it says that you, when he tells him not to eat from the tree of knowledge, it says, from all the trees of the garden you may eat, except from the tree of knowledge you should not eat. So it only says that later by the second time, but at the beginning, But in the 6 days of creation, it does not say that. So that when it says all the trees are you to eat, that is talking about the man of Bria.
There is no klipa in Bria, therefore there was no commandment to man of Bria.
There was no danger to eat from the tree of knowledge because nothing bad can happen from it. It's only in the world of Asiya that something bad can happen.
Which is
Okay.
male.
Hmm?
Which is male?
It doesn't say that. I don't know. I don't know. So this male and female thing, he goes back and forth. I'm not clear on it.
But it is clear that creation was a feminine attribute.
Right. Right. And that you both have Zeranpin and Nukva in Atsilis.
Right.
You have all over it. It does say it's a feminine attribute, but I'm not clear on that because he does say that the Tselem exists in the male. So I'm not clear about how it goes back and forth. Okay, I'd like to Gershon, go ahead. 15, the second thing. That's the question.
Hello.
Yeah,
You're muted.
I was muted.
Yeah, you
Right,
are.
where the heck are we? Regarding man, where are we?
Page 15,
Yeah,
second line.
That's the question.
thus the question was solely regarding the man of Asiya. As stated previously, the statement, let us make man in our image after our likeness, was a question posed by Ima of Berea to Abba of Berea. Shall we make man? The question was whether to make man of Asiya, since his earthly counterpart, mortal man, was destined to sin. The Torah then states, and Hashem created man in his image. This refers to the man of Berea, which is why the verb is he created. So after having posed the question as to whether or not to make the man of Asiya, we're told only that the man of Berea was created. Does this mean that the man of Asiya was not in fact made? Regarding the man of Asiya, it was not necessary to mention that he was in fact made, for this is obvious. Once he was mentioned in the question, it was enough for Hashem to talk about this act in the Torah to make him. This is the meaning of the verse, by the word of Hashem were the heavens made,
Which is a verse from Tehillim.
referring to the man of the verse. By the word of Hashem were the heavens made. Oh,
Yeah, the man of
the man of
Asiya.
Asiya.
You're repeating yourself, repeating
Yeah, I
yourself,
know,
repeating
I
yourself,
know,
repeating
I
yourself.
know. No explicit act of making was required. Rather, the raising of the issue of his making in the question and the subsequent talking about it was enough. The discussion now returns to the verse describing the creation of the man of Berea, and Hashem created man in his image. This verse continues, in the image of Hashem he created him. This refers to the intellect that enters the man of Berea, clothed in Netzach Hod Yesod of Ima, which is called the image as is known. Well, it's known now. The passive of Zerampin of Berea, the man of Berea, receives its intellect from Ima of Berea. The Chochmah Bina Dat of Ima are closed in the Netzach Hod Yesod of Ima, and in this package, they enter the Chochmah Bina Dat of Zerampin. Okay. The package is the image of Ima, referred to by the name Elohim used in this verse, in which the man of Berea is created.
Okay, keep going.
Keep going.
Yeah, we'll come back to this. I think.
Okay. There was no commandment given to this man of Berea not to eat of the tree of knowledge. For since this world of Berea is pure of evil, there was no apprehension that anything bad would happen by his eating of it at all. The problem with eating of the tree of knowledge was that by doing so, the person eating it internalizes, that is, subjectifies his perception of good and evil. In the context of the word of Asiya, where evil is present, this means that the person can be confused over whether something is good or evil. In the world of Berea, where there is no evil, the evil has no dominion, this possibility does not exist. Knowledge of evil in that context is entirely abstract or academic. Therefore, in the
Okay, hold
context-
on.
yeah, hold on.
Yes, go ahead.
Therefore, in the context of this man, it is said, behold, I have given you all plants. Is that the problem?
Yeah, too many alls.
Uh,
I've given you all the all plants. There's
the
too many
plants.
alls.
all the plants that I'll give you all the plants that okay, that bear seeds and that are upon all the earth, and all trees in which there is tree fruit that bears seeds, they shall be yours for eating. All right. Meaning, even the tree of knowledge in the garden, for with this man there was no apprehension that anything negative would happen by eating of its fruit. The Rizal now addresses the
Okay, hold on there. Okay, and what I told you to skip over, what I told you just to keep going, I did have it here. I forgot to explain.
Yeah.
It says, it's like this. Every stage of creation, we know, every stage of creation, every sphere is divided into two general categories, intellect and emotions. Selim refers to the intellect of Ze'er Anpin, of Bria, the second stage, which is received from the emotions of Ima, of Bria, which in turn is received from the intellect of Ima,
Chochmah Bina Dad, yeah.
Okay, so Ima Bina, again.
All right.
Well, let's start with Bria. Bria has 10 spheres. Bria has two sections, intellect and emotions.
Mhm.
3 intellect, 7 emotions. Each of those also has 10 spheres, 2 sections, intellect and emotions. So what they call here sub-spheres, we call it other times. So there are in total 100 sub-spheres. So if we look at Bria, the second stage of creation, we look at Ima, which is the second sphere, and it has 2 sections, intellect and emotions. Starts from the intellect, and that bears the emotions. That creates it. It produces the emotions of Ima. The emotions of Ima, in turn, are what produce the intellect of Ze'er Anpin, the 6 spheres of Ze'er Anpin. That's Chesed Word Echad Yisod. Each of them is divided into 2, intellect and emotions. Their intellect comes from the emotions of Ima.
All right.
Okay, it's at least we sorted out.
All right.
That's what you read at the bottom of 15. They told you to go on. I apologize. I didn't know it was here.
Chochmah Bina Dad of this goes to the Zerampin of that.
Yeah, but
Good.
I forgot that I had it over here.
Cool. Where are we now?
We are now going to stop
All right.
for the week. All good things must come to an end, folks. I'm sorry.
Cool.
Thanks for picking up on the typo here. I'm
Oh.
keeping a new list.
Okay,
Okay.
And all right.
All right.
I want to let's see. I'm going to Mincha, but gotta stop. But anyways, good class, everyone. I think most importantly, we have an island of sanity among the
yeah,
insane world in which we find ourselves now. We have direction. We are with holiness. And I should say that what we're learning is about the order of the world, about the logic of the world, not chaos, not tohu vavohu, not a free-for-all, but an order, a structure, And let's try it. Hope some of it sticks with us as we go on through the week.
I have one question to leave you with, maybe give some thought. Why, when Hashem says, you may eat from the tree of knowledge, why is it that fruit is implied?
He didn't, where did he say you may eat from the tree of knowledge?
No, I'm sorry, when you may eat from all the other trees, but from the
All the
tree of
trees.
knowledge of good and evil, you may not eat. So my question is, why is it implied that you're eating fruit, the fruit of the tree?
Where
Why
does it
is
say
it-
that?
Could be the bark.
I mean, you're not eating
Exactly.
you're not eating the bark?
Could be the bark, it could be, what's the metaphor? What I'm wondering is, what's the metaphor?
I'm not sure, but even the word fruit is possibly a bit of a limiting. In my opinion, the word can be translated as fruit. It can also refer to anything that is produced.
Well, actually, that's what it is. Fruit of a tree is anything produced from the tree.
But if
It
it's
doesn't
not
have to be
fruit,
fruit as we think of fruit.
that could be, but it's not necessarily
The yield.
It's what's
anything
yielded.
that's yielded from it.
It's yielded from it. That's the
Because
fruit of the
resin.
tree.
It could
It's
be a
not
resin,
necessarily a tree that the way we understand tree. There's
Right.
a lot of opinions in the
Exactly,
Medrash
yeah.
about what kind of tree it was.
It's
kind
something
of plant?
else. It's something else, and I'm just curious to know what you think the metaphor is, so I leave you with that.
If you have an idea, I'd love to hear. Guys, will remember my questions.
Absolutely.
Tikkun in the Ma'ariv prayer, and also a word related, and near it is a word related to Atzilus.
A word related what?
Utzilus.
Atzilus,
Okay.
Related, not particularly.
related. Okay,
Shkoyach Chaim, beautiful
great.
job.
Great seeing you all. Thank you all.
very much.
Thanks for the insights
Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank you.
guys.
and the discussions.
Thank you.
Rudy,
Thank you very much.
Rudy,
Yes, sir.
I will see you on Shabbos.
You're not supposed to be there.
No. I checked with my doctor and she said, go.
Yeah, but Rabbi Wolf is concerned.
I talked to Rabbi Wolf and he said, if the doctor said go, I can go.
Okay, so you
Okay.
talked to Rabbi Wolf.
Children,
Okay,
I gotta
as
end
long
the
as you talked
meeting.
to Rabbi Wolf.
Go ahead.